Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're stuck in the cycle of trying every new diet, workout plan, or magic supplement out there. You follow a program that's pretty rigid, maybe it's miserable even, and you know that it's impossible to stick to long term, thinking if I can just suffer through this just a little bit longer, I'm finally going to be done. Well, I've been there. I don't know if you have, and many of my clients have been there also. But here's the truth. Weight loss is not something that you endure and then move on from, plain and simple. It's something that you create a lifestyle around. And the thing of it is that when you do it right, it doesn't actually have to feel like suffering at all. Okay. So go ahead and drop me a me in the comments if you've ever felt stuck like this on the hamster wheel of losing and regaining the same weight over and over again. Again, I've been there. I've done certain things where I'm trying to do all the rigidness and keep myself in line and try and use willpower and discipline. And then normally you feel so guilty and defeated whenever you realize you can't stick with it, especially whenever somebody else can. Well, for me, I finally moved on from that point of wondering why other trainers, coaches, and other people had more willpower and discipline than I did, and why they were able to stick with some sort of rigid, god awful diet. And instead, I started realizing that there's more to life, and I want to be able to stay fit in a way that doesn't require me to throw out all my favorite foods or to have the most willpower in the world, because I'm just not interested in that anymore. So, what I want to do is help you to understand the difference on the short term versus the long term, because the reality is that what you're choosing when you're choosing the diets, the supplements, Ozempic, all these different things, you're choosing a quick fix. And that quick fix is not just going to give you a quick fix if it works. It's also going to give you a temporary fix, meaning that everything that you lose is going to come back. There's multiple reasons, all from not understanding actually how to do this the right way to trying to do it so quick that, well, let me put it this way. Most of you guys watching my stuff, you're busy professionals, you're successful in your career, you're busy entrepreneurs, you're successful in your business. And you would absolutely sneer at anybody else or scoff at anybody else who was trying to get where you are in your successful journey of your career or your business, but they're trying to do it using a get rich quick scheme. You would absolutely chuckle at that going, that's not how you get it. It's not how you get success. You've got to learn the structure, you implement the structure, and you've got to be consistent when other people aren't willing to. And that's really what it comes down to. Now, obviously, building a business or building a lifetime successful career is going to be, in my opinion, quite a bit significantly harder than getting yourself into shape when you actually know the rules of the game, okay? And that's what I'm going to help you to understand today. So what I'm going to talk to you about is the temporary fixer versus the lifelong builder. So let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two people trying to fix a broken down house. Okay, this is like again, something that might have been absolutely amazing back in the day, but it's been uncared for, it's almost dilapidated, and the very first person to come up and want to fix this house is a temporary fixer. They slap on the duct tape, they patch up leaks with cardboard, and they paint over the cracks to make it look nice for now, okay? But every time it rains, the roof leaks, and the walls crumble, and they're right back to where they started. They're showing up, maybe they're a landlord, and they're doing this just to get a renter in there, and so they have to come over and fix everything because the roof is leaking again, or they have to come over and fix because the windows are letting too much air in. Whatever this might be, this person is intending to fix things so that they work, but unfortunately, they're fixing it in a way that they only work temporarily. Now, the second person is a lifelong builder. This person has success and understands the structure. They take the time to rebuild the foundation. They use strong materials, even if they're a little bit more expensive. Not that they have to be, but they're going to use strong materials because they're not focused on the quick fixing part. And that they design the house to stand the test of time, okay? So yes, sure, it takes longer. But once it's done, they don't have to keep starting over. And that's the big issue is when you're approaching your weight loss or your fitness journey, I want you to begin your journey now in a different way than you've ever done before. And that's starting with do I want this weight loss to come back, or do I want it to last for eternity? For as long as I'm here breathing this breath, do I want it to last? For me, I don't like to do things twice when I can do it once the right way. And that's how I was raised. So when I did things the wrong way, the first in my 20s, while I was still a trainer, it was out of ignorance because I was seeking for whatever this permanent solution might be, because so many other nutritionists and coaches and trainers were all preaching the same thing. You got to cut out that, and you don't eat sweets, and don't eat that before this time, and cut that out. And it's a lifestyle change, they would say. Meanwhile, they're telling you all this rigid stuff where you're thinking, lifestyle, that's like a prison lifestyle. I don't want anything to do with it. And again, as I told the other day on a video, I distinctly remember back in like 2000, maybe five, maybe six, whenever I was my first or second year as a trainer, and I was eating a whole wheat chicken sandwich from Mr. Goodsense. You may not have that, but here in Missouri, we've got that. And again, for all intents and purposes, this thing is pretty dang healthy overall. And I remember this fellow trainer who, she was a nutritionist, and she was like, "Oh, you're so bad for eating that." I'm thinking, I I wanted this. It fits with what I'm doing. It fits perfectly with what my goals are. What's so bad about this? You act like I'm eating a giant Chicago style pizza all by myself. And that's whenever it dawned on me, I want nothing to do with this rigid fit lifestyle that these people are so addicted to, because it's like a prison cell. And I got into this specifically to overcome my own insecurities, to feel better about myself, and then ultimately to help other people to overcome that, because I figured out how to do it myself. And I get tired of watching everybody else stumble just like I was. So the last thing I want to do is I don't want to continue to perpetuate that same rigidness. So for me, I kind of started to distance myself from other coaches and trainers who were so stuck in that rigidness, because I'm like, this is not a life that's going to make me feel good. This is going to be a life where I'm going to feel constantly like I am wrong or bad or doing something wrong, simply because I want to enjoy the food that I eat, and I don't want to look forward to, replacing my sour cream with Greek yogurt and pretending it's sour cream. I'm sorry. I don't want to eat, cottage mash, or I'm sorry, what is that? Cauliflower mashed potatoes, convincing myself it's mashed potatoes. My clients get the real thing. They get mashed potatoes. Now, again, if you've got some sort of potato allergy or something where you can't do that, be my guest. Enjoy the cauliflower crap. But for me, I want nothing to do with it, okay? So the thing is that most people approach weight loss like the fixer that I described, the temporary fixer, okay? They're looking for the quickest, easiest solution without realizing that it's actually setting them up to fail. And I get it, because they're taught, or they're told by that type of trainer that I was approached by about my food, that if you're eating things that taste good, well, you got to spit it out. You can't enjoy that. And so the thing is if you build the foundation of a healthy, enjoyable lifestyle, knowing what matters, such as calorie deficits, macronutrient balance, and then of course working on the internal structure, so your mindset is there, that you actually desire to do this repeatedly. The thing is that you're going to end up finding results that last, and you're never going to have to rebuild again. But if you continue to do it the way where you're doing the quick fix thing, because you're told that you got to cut out your carbs, and, well, I just cut out my soda and I lost. This is all a whole bunch of telephone where people are like, well, I heard so-and-so cut out their soda and they lost. Well, I heard so-and-so went on keto and they lost. And so-and-so went on carnivore diet and they lost. And then you try it and maybe you lose, but you're like, this is miserable and I don't know how they did this. Well, again, maybe their pain level was a little bit higher, but maybe they don't care about food like you and I do, but I do. And I'm not willing to give up all carbs and all that stuff to eat all meat. I'm not willing to give up carbs to eat, just fats and protein. And I'm dang sure not willing to cut out my sweets, because I've done that. I've done the cheat day, the cheat meal. I've done you name it. I've tried it. And none of those things are actually what I would consider to be long-term. So that's the area here, is that the temporary fixes, again, like the rigid diets, the hardcore workout plans, the expensive supplements, they're just not built to last. It's just that simple. They want repeat customers, and you're not actually learning how to do this. So they force you to live in misery, and as soon as you're done, unfortunately, you go right back to the old habits, and you gain all the weight back because you had a thing that they gave you. And when you realize, wait, this thing, whether it's a meal plan, a workout structure, whatever, when you realize, wait, this thing doesn't fit my lifestyle, well, now what do? Because you weren't taught how to do something. You were simply shown, follow these steps and it will work for you. But then when you follow them and you're like, oh man, these steps are kind of like a giant ladder step. This isn't comfortable. I don't want to do this. You're not taught anything to actually incorporate it into your life, so you regain it. That's why so many people go, well, yeah, I did really great on keto until I what? Finish the statement. You know it, right? Till I started eating carbs again. Well, why would you eat carbs again if this was such an effective method? Because you didn't want to give up carbs for the rest of your life. So therefore, it's not a lifestyle. And that's what I implore you to think about right now is what you're doing, Ozempic, liposuction, even working with a personal trainer where they're basically babysitting you. And this is coming from a former personal trainer. They're babysitting you and counting your reps instead of giving you the accountability and teaching you structure and how to change your habits and mindset and overcoming things to understand pain versus pleasure and understanding the methods like the E plus R equals O thing so that you're not beating yourself up when you make a slight mistake, okay? So with that being said, let me share a little secret. I love food, and the reality is that you might see me eating pizza or bar-style food at a restaurant, and my favorite thing is when people come up to me and they think that they've got me, like they caught me, they busted me doing something that I'm not supposed to, like, oh, are you supposed to be doing that, Coach Lance, they say. And my favorite thing, or even again, God love him, Joe, our neighbor, he thought he caught me with Papa John's pizza that I wasn't supposed to have. And he says, is that on the meal plan? And I was like, of course it is. This is something that I've had. I macroed for it. And so, of course, he knows a little bit. He's teasing. But the point is that this is most of the response that I get is that people are shocked to see when they walk up and I'm eating like, I don't know, let's say loaded baked potato and a cheeseburger. They're going, is that on the diet or are you just taking a day off? And I'm going, no. It's absolutely part of my diet because I'm not on a diet. I am on a structured plan where I know how to choose foods just like how you know how to shop without going over your budget so you still have money to pay your bills. I know how to eat my food in a way without going over my deficit budget, if you will, which causes fat loss or maintenance if I'm aiming for that, or muscle build if I'm aiming for that. And I eat based on the same way as what you would do if you're shopping. You're going to check your register or your bank account to make sure that you've got it in there. You check, hey, I do, and I want this. I thought about it. So you get it. You buy it. That's me. Hey, I haven't eaten pizza all week. I might want that. And it's X amount of calories, fat, this, that, or the other. Okay, I can't have the whole thing, but I can have 3 to 5 slices. I'm going to go for it. And that's what you're going to see, okay? So the thing is I don't diet. I eat in a way that fits my life. It lets me enjoy the food that I love, and it helps me to stay fit even at 39 years old. And I can remember in high school where somebody, whenever I first started getting my fitness in order, and somebody was saying, and I won't mention the name, but somebody was like, yeah, just wait until you graduate or wait until whatever date it was and you'll give up. I've seen it too many times. I was like, no, because I've done the other. I have felt the insecurities and the low energy and skinny fat and unathletic. I'm done with that, man. I want nothing to do with what you're talking about. The reason you're talking about it this way is because you only see it as doing the painful thing or not doing it. And you think that it's something you're willing to endure while you're in high school. But I see it as something that it's something that you want to do indefinitely so that you feel better forever. So that's my take on it. Okay. So what I want you to ask yourself is, do you want to keep bouncing from one social media influencer's plan to the next? Or do you want to actually follow the approach of someone who's lost the weight, kept it off, enjoys food, and has helped hundreds of others do the same? If so, you're in the right place. That's what I've done, and I can help you. So if this is hitting home and you're tired of the temporary fixes that leave you stuck, and you're tired of all of the weight coming back on later down the road because you can't stick with what you're doing to lose the weight, I've got something for you. I want you to go ahead and click the link below in my description box there and take my Weight Loss Unblocker Quiz, okay? It's going to help you to get unblocked from what is causing you to always regain what you lose, or even if it might be blocking you from losing altogether. So it's going to help you to figure out which of the 6 weight loss traps that you might have mistakenly fallen into. And it's going to help you actually finally break free and start building the lifelong foundation of the permanent builder as opposed to the temporary fixer. Okay. So here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a personalized report that is showing you what's keeping you stuck, but even better, you're going to get simple, sustainable solutions from me, 20-year fitness coach, to help you lose weight without rigid rules, giving up your favorite foods, living in the gym, swearing off soda, swearing off meat, swearing off carbs, all the things, okay? The clarity that you need to stop bouncing around and start seeing real results, all is in that quiz once you get done with that. So go ahead and click the link below, or you can drop the comment quiz in the comments and I'll send it right to you. So the main thing is let's stop patching up the roof of this thing that we're trying to fix, so to speak, and let's start rebuilding from the ground up, all right? We're going to take a little bit longer to do this, yes, as opposed to trying to get 30 pounds off in the next 35 days from, Ozempic or from Nutrisystem or whatever it is, or MetaFast, whatever shakes. Like, guys, if you dread doing what you're doing because you're taking shakes and you're like, well, it's only 90 days and, I have to basically have a liquid diet, but at least the weight comes off. It's probably not going to be something that you can count on that weight staying off. And this is where I want to help you. So go ahead and click that link. And the thing is that what I want you to know as a final statement is that weight loss does not have to feel like a grind or a punishment. And it dang sure doesn't have to feel so challenging that you can only keep up with it for 60 or 90 days. So it's not about giving up your favorite foods or working out until you hate your life or you're sweating buckets. Unfortunately, that's what so many people do, and they believe, and then they wonder why they can't keep up with them. It's actually about creating a lifestyle that you love. Yes, it's a lifestyle like the fitness coaches preach, but it's one that you love, one that actually works for you and keeps the weight off for good. Well, how does that happen? Well, it allows you to eat your favorite food. So 20% of the time is what we preach. So that, let's say, you're eating, like, for example, we had chicken and potatoes for lunch. Tonight we're having a chicken chimichanga. And this is like a chimichanga that we're going to put like white queso cheese on it, real cheese. Like, there's nothing in there is something where you would, in fact, we've actually made this for people, not telling them that it was more macro friendly, and they feel like it tastes just like it would at a Mexican restaurant. So these are the sort of things that we do. And when you're doing that, do you really think that you're going to be like, oh, I miss a cheeseburger? No, because you get a cheeseburger when you want one. We fix cheeseburgers all the time. We do smash burgers and fries and tater tots if we want them. Like, we do those foods. And so there is nothing to, quote, cheat from when you do it this way, all right? So create a style that works for you and that you love. So what I want to know is in the comments, what's one food that you refuse to give up even on your fitness journey? So for me, I'm going to say pizza's one. I'm going to say, that's just like an absolute given that I must have. Cheeseburgers would be another one, and potatoes would be another. I have potatoes regularly every single week, and I love it. So there's mine. Let me know in the comments what's yours. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, and I will do my best to answer them. So I also find it funny that I kind of, being bald, glasses, and all this, I kind of look like a wannabe Moby or something with a beard. So I'm not a DJ yet, but I guess the attire means that I will be soon. So anyway, of course, I'm kidding. You guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys